What's up, guys? It's your boy Clinton. So in this video, I'll be working on Django Model Forms. I'll be making a tutorial on Django Model Forms. So what are Django Model Forms? Django Model Forms are simply Django forms that collects data from a user, from a website's user, and save those data to the database without the user having access to the Django admin section. Understand? So for example, in this particular example I have here, I'm going to simply enter a department name. So I could just say computer science and put in a suggestion. I could just say we need more equipment. We need more equipment. Continue typing. Okay, now you can see once I click on the submit button, this data will get saved to my database. You understand? For example, here's the database over here. It's going to be saved to this suggestion model class we have here. So just watch now. So submit. So let's see if it's been saved. Refresh the page. You can see it has been saved to the database. Click on this computer science. You can see what I have on the front end is being saved to the back end using Django Model Forms. So how this works is that this particular form we have on the front end is connected to a Django model class. That is how it works. It's being connected to a Django model class. For example, it's connected to this particular suggestion class we have in our models.py file. Understand? So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Django model form, whereby users of a website can come in and save data to the database to the database without them having access to the admin section. You understand? Now, for example, we're able to save this data to the backend, to this particular suggestion model. You can see the data at the back using Django model form. So without further ado, we are getting started with the tutorial right now. Okay, so now we have our Django project already set up. You can see now we have a project called DJ Form and the app called GJ Form app. So what we need to do first, we need to add this app called GJ Form app to our installed apps. So go down to the installed apps in the settings.py and add the newly created app to the installed apps. So we need to do that right now. Okay, now so I'm going to scroll down to my installed apps to add the newly created app called DJ Form app. Okay, here it is here. So we're gonna add that now. DJ Form app. So that's it now. So after we've done this now, we're gonna configure our views, URLs, and the models. So let's do that right now. So get down to the views.py in your app. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna simply say dev, or simply say this index. Okay, index requests. So I'm gonna simply return render requests, comma, name of our template. Our template is going to be called anything. I'll call my own index.html, and the context will be in this dictionary we have here. Okay, so after we've done this now, so we're going to create our template called index.html. So get down to your app called DJ Form app. We're going to create a folder called templates. Do that quickly, template. So in this folder, we'll create a file called index.html. Okay, yes. So after I've done that, I think we are good to go. So now I'm going to populate this our HTML file with some HTML. So I'm going to call this Django Model Form. Django Model Form. Okay. So I've done that now. So I have a navigation bar over here. Just gonna copy it, Ctrl C. Okay, I'm gonna paste it in the body section. Yes, this is from Bootstrap. So I'm gonna copy the Bootstrap CDN link and add to my project. that should be in the head section. Okay, so that's done now. So what we need to do now is to configure our URLs to the views.py. So I'm going to create a new file called urls.py in my app called DJ Form app. So I'm going to create it. The file is going to be called urls.py. So yeah, I'm going to simply import from Django.urls import paths. So create a variable called URL patterns, gonna be equal to a list of paths. So before that, we're gonna import our views model. We're gonna say from dot import views. Okay, so now we're gonna simply want to configure this URL to the views or to this views function we have here instead. So let's do that right now. We're gonna simply say paths empty. We're gonna say views dot index, the function in the views.py, views.index, comma, and we're going to give it a name attributes. Could leave that blank for now. So now we've done this. So what we need to do now is we need to let our Django project know about this urls.py file we have in our app. So get down to the urls.py file in the Django project called DJ Form. So here it is. Open it. So we need to make it known. So we're gonna simply say paths. Okay, but after that we're gonna simply say include DJ Form app, their app dot urls. To save your work, okay, make sure your work is saved. So before that, we need to also import the include. We need to also import this include keyword. Okay, save your work now. So I think now we can now see how the page looks like. We need to run server. I think so. We need to run server. So let's run our server. I'm gonna say Python manage.py run server 8001. Okay, so our server is running, so we're gonna put that URL in our browser. Gonna say one. Okay, gonna change that from 8000 to 8001. Oh, it's kind of not showing anything. Okay, we can see we have the nav bar over here, so we're gonna simply change this to Django Model Form. So get onto your VS Code. Okay, nav bar here it is. Change it to Django Model Form. Okay, so now we are through with the views, the URLs, and the views and the URLs now. So we need to create a model that we're going to link our form to. You understand? So let's do that right now. Okay. Okay, so now let's go create the model. Okay, so get onto the models.py file. Yeah, so now I'm going to be working with a comment section of a blog. So I will simply want to add comments to the database. So I'm going to call my model class of comments. So simply models.model. So the first attribute should be name, models class comment models.model. The first attribute should be name equal to models.character field. We should have a max length of, let's say, 50. Okay. So after this now, I'm going to add a second attribute called, let's say, comments. It should be models that's text field. Okay, so that's all for that. So after we've done this, so I'm going to simply migrate my database. So run Python. Oh, before I do that, I simply want to do this def. This is going to enable us have a human readable string in the admin section. So def self return self.name. Okay, so we've done that right now. So after I've done this now, we're going to make sure we migrate this to our database. So Python manage a spy, make migrations, and now Python manage a spy, Python manage spy, migrate. So now I'm going to create a super user. Okay, Python manage a spy, create super user. Oh no, Python manage spy, create super user. So I'm going to simply say Clint password. Oh no, Clint's password should be this. So yes. So I'm going to run server again. Python manage spy, run server. Okay. So after I've done this now, go to my admin.py file to make sure I register this model. So go down to the admin.py file to register the model. So I'm going to import the model first. I'm going to say from dot models import comments. Okay, so I'm gonna register this comments model. I'm gonna say admin dot site dot register. So I'm gonna register this comments. Yeah, this comment class I created in my models of spy. I have to get it registered so I can have access to it in the admin section. Okay, so let's get into admin section and see how things are going. Slash admin. So I'm gonna log in now. Cleaned my password. Login. Okay, I think everything is working fine now. So now I want to create the Django form and connect that Django form we're about to create to this newly created model we have here. You understand? So let's do that right now. So now we can do that, we're going to first of all create a new file called forms.py inside the app. Understand? This is our app called DJ for app. So I'm going to create a new file called forms.py. Forms.py. So that's it. Okay, so now I have my newly created forms.py inside of my app called DJ Form app. So now I'm going to import Django Model Form. I'm going to simply say from Django.forms import Django, import model form. Import model form. Okay, that's it now. So after I've done that, I'm also going to import the model I want to connect my form to, which is this comment. So I'm going to import that into the forms.py. I'm going to simply say from dot models import comments. Okay, that's it for now. So now I'm gonna simply call this class. We're gonna call it comment form. Yes, it's gonna be inheriting from our model form which I inherited here. Model form. Okay, that's it now. So after we've done this, we're also going to have a class of meta just beneath it, class meta. So this class meta is going to have two attributes. The first one is going to be called model, and this model refers to the inherited model we have here, this comment model. So we're going to put it here. You can see now I'm already connecting this form. I'm already connecting the Django form to the model. You can see. So after that, now I'm going to have another attribute called fields. So these fields now, so I'm going to pick up all the fields of my models of this comments model I have here. And I only have two fields, which are name and comments. So I'm going to just simply say all. You can do that by doing something like this: double underscore all and double underscore again. Understand? So after I've done this now, so I think I can save my work now. So now you see this comment form is the form we are going to have on the front end. You understand? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to import this comments form on the views.py. So let's go do that right now. So my views.py. So I'll have to import the comment form. So I'm going to simply say from dot forms import comment form. Yes. So after I've done that now, I've just imported comment form, and the comment form is the form we are going to have on the browser. So now instead of my function called index, I'm going to simply say form. This is a variable. Form should be equal to the newly created comment form. Yes. So now after that, I'm going to write an if statement. That's going to say if there is a post request, something is going to occur. Whenever we click on this submit button we have here, trying to send a data to the database, a post request is occurring. Understand? So now get down to so we're going to say if this, for example, now as I said, form is equal to the comment form. This comment form refers to an empty form on the screen, something that is empty, an empty form. Understand? So now I'm going to say if there's a post request whereby we click on the submit button, trying to submit the data. Understand? So if request, let me say if request dot method is equal to posts, I'll simply say form. This form we have here is going to have a different attribute. It's going to have a different value if a post request occurs. It's going to be equal to form should be equal to comment form. It's going to have request.post inside of its requests.posts. So this request.post simply means that it simply means the form data. It means the form data. You can see here where there was no post request, the form was empty. But when there's if there's a post request, the form now is referring to the form and its form data. It's referring to the form data now. Understand? So I'm going to simply go further and say if the form is valid. Understand? If form dot is valid, if there is no syntax error, the form should be saved to the database. Gonna say form dot save, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to pass this form into my dictionary here. So I'm going to simply say form, pointing to the form we have there. So save your work. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to pass this form into our template. We're going to pass this form, this context we have here, we're going to pass it into the template index.html. Understand? So get down to the index.html. Okay, So now that form we have on the views.py is simply refers to the input fields. Understand? So what we are going to do now is this. So I'm going to copy this. So I'll just copy this. So I'll paste that in here. Okay. So just in between. So now the form in my context, I'm going to pass it inside of this place. So save now. So let's see, get down to the browser and refresh the page. Okay, you can see we have a form. You can see we have a form, but it's not looking good as this. It's not looking good as the one we have over here. Understand? So now what I'm going to do is this. Okay, let's continue. The form we have here is not looking good. What we need to do now, you need to also put the form tag. The form tag. You see, you need to put the form tag, and we also need the submit button. So I'm going to copy this form. I'm going to cut it and paste inside of the form tag. Yeah. Okay, so now we have the form fields, which is this form inside the curly braces, the Django template variable. So you need to also put in the submit button. Django only provides us with the form fields. It does not give us the form tag and the submit button. So we're going to put that by ourselves. So now yes, we have them now. So now just save your work now and get down to the browser. So refresh the page. So what I want to do is that I want to see. So before we continue, get down to the, so we need to put in a method of post in the form. Method equals posts. Method equal to post now. So I'm going to put in a CXRF token for cross-site requests forgeries to prevent a malicious user from hacking into our site. It's going to say CXRF token. Okay, save your work now. So after we've done this, what we need to do next is to try and see if our form saved to the database. So get down to the browser. Our form is not looking good. I'm going to adjust that very soon. So I'm going to simply say Mike. I'm going to simply say thank you as a comment. So submit. So get down to the back end now. Click on comment. So refresh. Oh, it's not being added to the database. It's gonna get specified right now. So let's try again now. Let's what I simply did, I simply saved my work. I went to my views.py and saved it. So I think it should work now. So let's simply say John and say John commented thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now so submit. So get onto the back end now, refresh the page. Let's see, we can see now we have John saved to the database, saved to the comment model. You can see now we are able to save to our database from the front end. So now what I want to do now is I want to beautify the form. I want to make this form look beautiful. It's not looking fine at all. So let's do that right now. So I'm going to get straight. Before I do that, get down to index.html. I'm going to change this to leave a comment, not leave a suggestion. Leave a comment. Okay, so now I want to make this our form look beautiful, add a placeholder, make it beautiful just the way we have over here. Understand? So let's do that right now. So we are going to head down to our forms.py. Yes. So now you can see the models.py, the comments here. We have two attributes, name and comments. So get down to the forms.py. So I'm going to simply pick that name and comment. So we're going to simply say name should be equal to models. Sorry, it should be equal to forms dot character field max length should be, let's say, 50 characters. So we're going to also say widgets should be equal to forms dot text inputs. Forms dot text text inputs. Still not showing. Okay, so after we've done this, now we're going to put in attributes. attrx should be equal to curly braces. Yes, so this name we have in this comment form refers to the name field we have on the browser. Understand, the name field. And this name field, now I'm going to add a class to this particular field. I'm going to add a class to it. So now let's do that right now. So I'm going to add a class. So this class is a bootstrap class. It is called form control. Form control. Okay, after that, now I'm going to also add a placeholder. Placeholder. And I'm going to say enter name here. Enter name here. I think that's it for now. So do the same thing for my comments. I think we're having an error. There should be a comma in between. There should be a comma. Okay, now so I'll do the same thing for comments. Control C. For comments is gonna be form.text area, not text input. Form.text area. Attributes is gonna still be form control. The placeholder will be enter comments. I'll simply say comments here. Okay. Yes, that's it. So I can now see my work. Now what I simply did is that I simply styled my form fields. I just styled them. You can see they don't look there. There are no styles are added to them. So I simply styled the form fields using Django. Understand? So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get down to my. I will move down to my template index.html. So I'll simply say. So I'll say for the first field, I'll say form.name. On the second field, just copy this and form.comment. Okay, form.comment. So save now. So get onto the browser and let's see how it looks like. So refresh the page. Oh, there is a loading error here. Able to connect to try again. Okay, let's run our server since our server is down. So Python manage a spy run server 8001. Okay, you can see we're having an error if you check the terminal below. Okay, well, since I can find the error, I should have changed this to comments and not leave it as name. So save now. So let's see if there's gonna be a change. There's still an error called name forms is not defined. Okay, if you watch closely down here, we're having an error saying forms is not defined. That's true. So I need to import the form module. So I'm going to simply import the form. I'm going to import the form module right now. I'm going to simply say from Django import forms. Understand? So, and from forms I can import my model.form. So I'm going to simply put here forms.model.form and remove this model.form I have here. Okay, that's all I need to do. So think now I can save my work now and see if there's gonna be any progress. Okay, let's go. Okay, the error is now gone, so refresh the page. Wow, you can see now the form is looking beautiful. It's looking beautiful. So what we need to do now, we need to add some line breaks to each field. So let's do that right now. So get down to the index.html. We need to add some line breaks. So to the first field, I'll just simply add a br under it. The same thing. So save and get down to the browser, refresh. Okay, you can see it's looking good now with some spacing in between the fields. So now let's try putting in a comment. So the name of this commenter is going to be called, let's say, David. So David said, thank you, for this information, So submit. So get onto the back end. So refresh. So let's save this first. You can see David is already added. So you can see David, thank you for this information. Okay, so now I just showed you how to use Django Model Form, whereby you're able to save data to Django's database without you having access to the admin section. Understand? So in this video, I hope you learned something. So if you did, please subscribe to Coolest Cleansing, smash the like button, and drop me some comments. I would love to hear from you. And we'll see you again in the next video. Thank you for